Hey, good evening.
Oh, good evening. Go ahead and mute yourselves as you come in. We'll start chatting about less than 5 minutes. Welcome, welcome. Couple minutes, we'll get folks in. Let's see here. So I have to figure out how to let people in and minimize Zoom. Okay. There we go. Oops, I don't want that. I want you. Here we go. There we go. All righty. So we'll just wait for a few people to come in. We have a chat window on the side if you want to get in there. I believe it's broadcasting to the page. Not really sure. I gotta see. I was hoping it would. Well, I guess you click the join button on that. Okay, so trying to see if more participants are coming in. What I'd like to talk about this week is pretty much what is coming up, the event, what we can do to get ready to participate. I understand there's gatherings going on, and it seems to be a good trend. Participants 3, okay. Making sure we have the manage button. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. So, all right. I see Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And I see Firefly Metaphysical.
Hi.
Okay. You can unmute yourselves if you want for now. We'll want to chat a little bit before we get involved. I'm sure there's going to be a few more people in. We tried to move it to Friday so we can get more participants. Thursdays were good, but Friday seems to be better. We were doing videos before. I haven't done a video I've done the chats for Joe, and I haven't done a video for weekly Facebook Live for a little while. I took about, I'd say about 6 months off, just to get some things done around the house. And while I was getting things done around the house, I figured I'd go ahead and take care of getting things done about me. So I worked on me a little bit, had some things come up that needed addressing, and we addressed them, and we're just working on them. What the heck's wrong with my eye? Oh, it's just a shadow. Okay. Anyhow, I thought I had a boo-boo, but I don't. It's just swollen right there. I must be tired. So anyhow, we had a visit about a month ago, or at the beginning of last month, and it's on angelicgate.com. Unfortunately, Joe's having some issues with his website and wasn't able to get it up on his website as of yet. I don't know what the holdup is. But basically what that visit was about was asking us to notice what's happened since the Novus Invictus, where everybody went and we assisted the light that was already coming through. We became part of that light. So we'll probably talk about that later on in the gig. Do want to talk about registration for the event. I don't know if you guys are registered, but this is for folks that are viewing later on. If you haven't registered, please do. Go to beatpeace.net and you can find the registration buttons there. You will need to call the hotel to book. Your contacts will be Noel or Michelle. So we have 2 folks to talk to there. And there are plenty of rooms. We have a big blocked out over 200 rooms for us, so we're not going to run out of rooms. So that's a wonders thing. All right, okay, so I got the visit up just in case we go into that a little bit. Now I've noticed there's been some gatherings happening. Now, you two, are you recently gathered? Because I don't think I've ever seen you, Sarah.
Yeah, we talked at the last conference. That was my first one. That's when I was gathered.
Okay, so you were gathered there, and then
Yeah.
the gentleman was gathered. I think he was gathered recently.
Yeah, hey Dave, this is Jeff Carroll out in Scottsdale, Arizona. How you doing?
Jeff Carroll. Excellent. So you're gathering coming up.
Yeah, we did our gathering, Melissa and I, in January with
Okay.
Rick Welton.
Okay. I'm just glad to hear something's happening.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to actually producing more of these events and
Great.
gatherings.
Great.
So we'd like to actually speak with you in reference to some of that.
Absolutely.
Our focus was doing some prereq classes to get people to have a better understanding of how important these gatherings are. So we're actually putting a curriculum together ourselves because
Wonderful.
we already currently teach courses and classes.
A lot of the folks that get involved in this or have already been teaching, or I don't know, you're gonna have to mute while I talk, I guess. Yeah. Thanks. A lot of the folks get involved in this, they've already been teaching. And yes, this is something else to add to your repertoire. However, it does take some getting used to, because when you get involved in this, your sums come up and you're dealing with that. A lot of folks really want to get in and do the gatherings, and I want to encourage them to do that. And there's a way to do them real smoothly. There's a lot of folks out there that did gatherings for years, and then they came up with their own way of doing a gathering. I don't recommend you look at theirs. I recommend you look at what Joe is giving out for gatherings, and what he got from Michael, because that's the goods. Also, if you're planning on doing a gathering, I recommend you get the masters together first and then set your date. That way you're not scrambling to find people and inadvertently or even mistakenly place somebody in a color or in a position of the gate that they don't belong there, or that's happened.
That's exactly right. We were already considering that, and what we were doing is prereq classes to set up the colors associated, and when all the colors are together, then we will host the first angel gathering under Firefly Metaphysical.
Great. That's awesome. There have been several people that have, created healing center environments to do this very work. Unfortunately, none of them have really lasted, but, I'm hoping, since we've gotten some momentum over the years and we have a heck of a lot more pretty much more of a foundation, we can start moving this thing forward, because I know there's a lot of people that want, a world that works for everyone. And that's basically what this gathering is offering them. So when you offer them the bowl, as Michael would say, you offer them the bowl, you're basically offering them an opportunity to help create a world that works for everyone. And that's really the bottom line. And then when they discover their giftedness, okay, then, whoa, when you discovered what your gift was, how did that make you feel? And we're going to give that feeling to other people. Well, we're going to help them discover that. Okay. The other thing is one of the things that people have been doing over the years, and I really highly recommend you do not do this. Multiple gatherings, which is you have 2 to 3 gatherings, and helpers at your gathering. You don't need help. There's 7 people there getting gathered, and a servant. The servant can take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. It's not a 24-hour teaching assignment. The thing is you move the masters off into their positions. You put the red with the violet, the green with the yellow, the purple with the blue, and the orange kind of floats around with whoever they float around with. They can get everything handled. And what's happening is those people are bonding. Okay, so anybody you bring into the equation is going to be changing the vibration of the gathering of the weekend. First gathering and the 5th gathering that I know of, I was in the 5th gathering. We had no helpers. We didn't do multiples at that time. The multiple gathering thing came up in Chicago. It was a mistake. We even had a visit. Michael said, hey, it's not what I gave you, but people still do what they want to do with it. But I really want to get this ball rolling. So if we're going to be able to get that done, we need to be able to do it the way it was shown, because we're baking a cake. If we take the flour out, we don't have a cake. You know what I'm saying? So those are my recommendations for a gathering. And since you've already been gathered, you'll need, you'll probably have a gathering script. If you were gathered by Rick, I'm sure he made sure you had a script. That's an awesome thing. I just recently got back up and running in my office area, and I used to make booklets for the gathering script, and then the booklets for each of the masters, so that they can have something to either write in or have a memory of that weekend. It's great for notes. Another thing I recommend for masters just coming involved is go to angelicgate.com and click on Angel Visits 1996 to 2018. Well, it's got more in there. I got 19 and 20 are in the latest visit. I haven't transferred them over. I'm the web guy. I've been busy doing other stuff. But anyhow, get familiar with all of the visits. Start at the first one that's in there, and that's it's very important information, and then you can move out from there. And then, of course, if you have any questions at all, I'm always available for you. If you text me, you can call me. And if I'm available, I'll answer. And if I'm not available, I will get right back to you. There was somebody that contacted me about a working model gate. That thing's going to take about 2 months to make at the rate I'm going right now. I'm not tooled up to make things right now. As a matter of fact, I usually have a booth at the event every year, and I'm just going to be using some of my stuff that I've had collected over the years. I'm not going to produce anything new like I normally do. But anyhow, the gatherings are, it's magical, and when we started getting the gatherings at the event, Camiel instructed Joe how to do a gathering at the event. And that's the only place we can do multiple gatherings, as well as use people that have already been gathered in place of people that haven't, so that we can hold the vibration. It's just because we have enough people there to do that. It's not the way of the gathering. It's just something they gave us because we weren't getting enough people gathered in order to come to the event. So the Angels, of course, they're going to bend over backwards to try and make it easy. And ironically, I had done a gathering in that way. I didn't count it. I didn't, we decided to redo that gathering, and we did. But the way we had done it is the exact same way that we do it at the event. So each year I generally do my best to help out and make sure everybody gets taken care of for gatherings, and teach them about that stuff too. But at the home gathering, it's much more of an intimate environment. You really want to get the most out of it. And whether you were gathered at the event, or you were gathered at a multiple event, or you were gathered with people that were there to help you, that doesn't matter. It's like my karate master taught me. He says, fall 6 times, rise 7 times, life starts now. So that's basically how the Angels look at this, is they'll let us fall as many times as we want. They're always here for us. And it's not doing it wrong. It's just not doing it the way it was given. There's no wrong and right in the angelic realm. There's no good or bad in the angelic realm. They don't look at things like that. And the Angels do come to the gathering. There will be angels there, whether you can see them or not, or feel them or not, they're there. And it's really a mystical thing. And it's really, I don't understand why we would want to invite other energies into, maybe possibly interrupt that bonding that you get to do as a servant and 7 masters, as Camiel said. So anyhow, that's how I do gatherings when I do them, is it's just me and the 7 masters. And I haven't done one in quite a while. And I did originally I did 4 gatherings, but I took a process of getting these seals. They're called the Shekinah seals. And I got them from there's 4 people that Robbie taught how to give them out. And I got them from one of those people. And basically what that does is it puts you in a vibration to where you can do 4 additional gatherings. Okay. I haven't done any additional gatherings yet. I've been doing other things, but there is, if you really get into this gathering thing, there's a way to do more of them. But the idea is to empower them so that they have the information that if they choose to pick up this ball and run with it, they can go ahead and perform a gathering the way that you did and be supported that way. And we'll get the numbers that we need. We need more gatherings, as many gatherings as we possibly can. There was a time in the beginning around about between 99 and 2003, we were having gatherings every weekend, and we would get this thing called gathering headaches, okay? And this was in the beginning. Now, mind you, I was in the 5th gathering, so, you know, I kind of got in this earlier. I met Joe way before the 1st gathering, but I got into the 5th gathering. I was gathered by Shelby, or her name was Cherie at the time, but now she goes by Shelby Cherie. And we were in Benicia, California. It was really mystical. Anyhow, I've been able to do that gathering 3 other times. So 4 times. Actually, I did one gathering at an event, and I figured I thought to myself, I didn't like it that way. I like the intimacy. So I did the others, you know, outside of the, you know, at a home. And, you know, every time I do one, people come from the strangest places, but I don't set a date, because we did set dates before, you know, people would set dates and the date would come and they didn't have enough people and they had to scramble and blah, blah, blah. So you can see where the confusion and problems come in there. The other thing was, I was talking about gathering headaches. We would get these headaches because there would be like 4 or 5, sometimes 7 or 8, maybe 10 gatherings going on during a 3-day weekend, or, you know, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that was raising the vibration, raising the vibration, raising the vibration. So once we reach that pinnacle, you know, we're going to be able to gather these 144,000 people in the same place at the same time, turning the same key, same thought, same breath, same song, and have heaven on earth. But it's going to take us being able to do these gatherings. So the hiccups that we've had over the years, as far as people becoming disgruntled with them because, you know, they would add something to the gathering and it didn't work, or they would do something their own way and it wouldn't work. You know, a lot of these things won't work. So the best possible scenario is to just do as they gave it to you. All of the processes are like that. There's all kinds of oils, all kinds of tuning forks. Start at the beginning and work your way out, and don't get overwhelmed with it. And how I did it was I was able to pick them up as they came out because they were so distant away from each other. I was able to pick up all the tools and the oils. I order new oils all the time, you know, when I need them, if I'm using them. The last time I ordered them was about 6 months ago, just before I started working on me. So I started working with me in the oils. Also, I don't know if you guys know about this. There's a master's oil that you can make for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, and you don't give it away to anybody else. This is something you use for your own vibrational healing, and it's depicted in the Master's Return. Also on angelicgate.com, the recipe is on there. And if you don't want, you know, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money for all of those different things, we can, how do we do this? I have Master's oil kits that I saw. I think they're $45 for the whole kit. It comes with a laminar tile. You can set your jar on it and keeps it fresh and whatever. Anyhow, I have those on angelicgate.com as well. So we're month and a half away, because we're starting on the 23rd or 24th. So about a month, you know, 3 weeks away from the event. You're going to notice our vibrations raising up, becoming more, you know, things become more noticeable. It's kind of like Mercury's in retrograde all the time for you towards the as we approach the event. So I recommend that you drink a lot of water. And if you have any of the water structuring devices like the laminar crystal star or the water diamond, use those as much as you possibly can. Drink that water because it hydrates you. Also eat well. If you have vitamin stuff that you need to take that. You know, make sure you get enough food, make sure you get enough water, make sure you get enough rest. Because if you're coming to this event, you're not coming to have a vacation. It's a lot of work while you're there because you're raising your vibrations up, and we all greet at the same plateau. And it's not that we have to work like physically to do it, but it's kind of draining on your body, you know, it depletes your vitamin C, it depletes your electrolytes, it depletes, you know, things. So you need to replace those things. So, as far as the place that we're going, we've been here before. It's not my first choice as far as the area of town, but it is a nice hotel. You're not going to get mugged like we did in we were told not to leave the parking lot in Atlanta, but this place is a little different. Saturday nights gets a little freaky out there. It's a large hotel and it's in the heart of Dallas, Texas. So there's a lot of restaurants around. They have an excellent restaurant with excellent breakfast, lunch, and dinner there at the hotel. As far as their restrictions and stuff, they'll be posting that when we get there. Probably not much of anything. I wouldn't worry about that. I'll be fully vaccinated by then, so not a problem. I already got my first one. I'm going to go to get the second one next month. So hopefully you guys are choosing to do that too. If not, don't worry about it. Don't choose to do it. Choose not to. So
Actually, we would actually not get the vaccine. We don't
That's
believe
fine.
in it.
you don't have to. You know, it's not a debate. It's science. I understand it, and I understand how it was made. I understand what it does, and I understand that I don't have polio, rubella, or measles, or mumps, or any of those things because of vaccines. But if you don't like that stuff, that's fine. You don't have to do it. You know, I'm not the guy that's going to tell anybody to do anything. I never have been. I never will be. I usually won't. I don't get the flu shot. I'm not interested in the flu shot every year. But when new vaccines come out, I generally use them. There's no, I know the science. My family members are in medical science and in law enforcement. One side's law enforcement, the other side's medical. So I get a little bit more information than most people. But anyhow, there's not going to be any requirements to go to the event. You don't need to be vaccinated to go there. We would like you to be. If you're not, then don't worry about it. Michael said that it would be wise to go ahead and take it. And that's what really helped push me over the edge, because I was kind of teetering, and Michael doesn't steer us wrong. So there's that. All right. So getting to the event, we have, the airplane stuff, the trains, and there are some people that need rides. There's a guy in Arizona that needs a ride. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I spoke to him the other day and it just blank. I don't see him in the room right now.
It's Edward.
Huh? Edward, that's it. Yeah. I'm sure he'll find a room or find a way to the event. He got gathered by Rick, I understand. Now Rick's a cool dude, man. He's been around for quite a while. He showed up early on in the gig. And he's kind of a no-nonsense kind of guy. I like the way he approaches things. And he's going to be teaching about oils there. And we communicate to each other on those things at times. Everybody talks to everybody about the stuff that we do because, you get different ideas from different areas. Michael said to use these things, play with these things, the tuning forks, the oils, see what they do. Now, there are orders that you need to do those things in because you are using high vibrational oils. Tuning forks, not so much. You don't have to worry about using a specific tuning fork. You do have to worry about using oils. You don't want to use more than 3 oils at a time, or you're going to start moving chakras into places you don't want them. So you start with Michael's oil, and then you can use different oil, as many oils as you need. So there's a couple of things you can do for yourself before you go to the event to start getting yourself moving towards that is the Shekinah blessing. On beatpeace.net is a process called the Shekinah's house blessing, or the home blessing, or the Shekinah blessing. And this is where you bring the Shekinah into your home, and you can do this once a week, once every other week, once a month, or just once, however many times is comfortable. There are some tools that you would need to use to do this thing. If you don't have them, don't worry. Follow the instructions as they go and just skip what you don't have. pick up those things as you can. It's not required or any of that kind of stuff. None of this stuff is required. There's no rules to it. There's no special, nobody can do, only special people can do things. No, that's not, we don't do that. Anybody can participate in a lot of these things that we're doing. Now, as far as something that, the only thing that I'm aware of, there's two things that I'm aware of that masters that have not been gathered yet can't do. The first thing is hold a gathering. They can't hold a gathering because they're not a servant yet. The second thing is stand in the formation. You need to be gathered in order to stand in the formation. So those are the only two things that I could personally think of that you can't do if you're not a master who's been gathered. So, and somebody is waiting, that wants to get gathered is called a master in waiting. Somebody said in print one time, ungathered masters. Well, you have to be gathered to be ungathered. So there's gathered masters and then there's masters in waiting. So there you go on how to understand that particular thing.
I did have a quick,
yeah.
oh, sorry to interrupt. In reference to certificates for these gathered masters, we were thinking of creating a certificate of completion for it being an angel master. What are your thoughts? Have you guys ever?
I would highly recommend it. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. We're not certifying anybody. What we're doing is when you stand in the center, you alter your DNA. It changes. It's not something that you need to put on a piece. I mean, if you really want to do that, go ahead. But I think that it kind of, it might give the wrong impression, that you need to have a piece of paper in order to have this thing,
Sure, understandable. I agree 100%.
It's like charging for a gathering. It's forbidden. You cannot charge for a gathering. It is strictly forbidden. No money exchanging there, no sex, no nothing. You're just there for the gathering, do the gathering and send you. Once you know how it was on Sunday when you left after your gathering, you're like high as a freaking kite, man. You don't want a whole bunch of stuff to worry about. Now, as far as a certification, my first instinct is I wouldn't personally do that. That was my first instinct. Now, if I thought about it and see the logic in it, I don't know. I haven't done that yet. But as far as I know, Joe and I do a tuning fork certification course where you learn how to use the tuning forks and the oils over a period of 3 days. And it's a certifiable course. There's several different certifiable courses that have come out of this work. But as far as a gathering goes, I don't know about that. I don't know that I would do that personally. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you do. This is your gig. You can do what you want with it. This work is up to the masters. So, we're not recreating anything. What we are doing has never been done in the history of ever. Okay. What we're doing is attempting to bring back to balance that which is unbalanced. Okay. And that's the issue that's happening with our planet is it's not a world that works for everyone. We were given this beautiful, perfect, whole and complete world. And now we have taken our responsibilities and we put it somewhere else. And then we buy and sell these pieces of land to each other that, really don't belong to us. They all belong to us. There's 8.5 billion people on the planet. We're all stewards of this planet. Money is really.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I totally, we work with Mother Earth 100% and love all beings across all dimensional planes. We were just curious if, during our gathered meeting and our gathering, as we were initiated, did we receive a specific number in reference to all the angel gatherings?
There is a woman, Laura Michaels, who has taken up the task of trying to document them, but Joanne Macco did that for many years, and she stopped at, where are we? I got it right here on the screen. Gathering so far, 2005, 2000, she stopped doing it in about 2009, and she stopped at 370 gatherings. Okay, now I know there have been well over, 700 gatherings. There's about 4,500 to 5,000 gathered masters at this time. Michael talked about it a couple of years ago. We haven't had a whole lot of gatherings, so it's only gone up by a couple hundred number. Generally at the event, we'll get anywhere from 2 people gathered to sometimes 30 or 40 people. At the Yellowstone event, we had like a couple hundred people gathered at the event, but that was a much different, we don't do the event that way anymore. We don't invite people to teach us at the event anymore. We're the teachers and we teach what we're doing. So no, there's no number or anything like that. The only reason I know I was in the 5th gathering is because of this list that Joannie did back in the beginning. And it's something that it's so big, it's hard to really keep track of, because some folks have actually taken our gathering and done their own thing with it. There's, they do their own thing with it. They don't talk to us or participate with us. They're doing their own thing with it. That's fine. It's theirs to do what they want with it. It would be nice if they hung out with us because we get more energy at the event and then we can push more love and joy and vibration of all these things that we need to put out into the world. Like 4 years ago, Michael came and his opening line was, "Has your kind seen enough yet?" It was right after an election and the inauguration and all that stuff. And all kinds of stuff was going haywire. And Joe basically asked, well, if we had enough people at the event, would this thing be happening? And his simple answer was no. So we have the ability to alter the path that the world is on by being present and coming together in these events. They're not a have to, they're a get to. It's not you're not above or below anybody. Now, the reason why the gate is given in a circle and the gathering is done in a circle is because none of the churches are above or below each other, okay? They're all on level playing ground, okay? And now a couple of the masters, put the gate stones on different heights to depict the heights of the vibration or the musical note, but it has really nothing to do with what Michael gave us. He said you can do that, but they're, you'll see that they're higher and lower and stuff like that. But that's not how the gate actually is. It's just one level playing field, okay? We have all of these people in place in order to do the things that we need to do. Let's say we're going to start a business. You're going to need a leader, okay? You're going to need a promotion department. You're going to need research and development. You're going to need an accountant and a mechanic. They're the same guy. You're going to need a teacher or a supervisor. They're the same guy. You're going to need to have a jingle or some artwork for your logo. And then you're going to need the head of your human resources or your head secretary. And those people will take care of your business and it'll function just like a machine. These are the things that the angels have given us, and the secrets of the 7 gifts is the revelation. The 7 gifts are the revelation. And what it is that we get to do is move this thing forward in such a way, Edward's knocking on the door, move this thing in such a way that as we accomplish what we're setting out to do, we can help co-create a world that works for everybody. What does that look like? I don't know yet. I haven't lived on a world in this lifetime that works for everybody. I know what my idea would be, but that may not even be close to what can happen. Michael was saying that, our imagination couldn't behold the glory that we will be gifting ourselves as we give ourselves a world that works for everyone. Because not only are we going to have a world that works for everyone, we get to communicate and engage with these angels. They've been wanting to bond with us. 2 years ago at the Colorado event, everybody that was in attendance at that event was downloaded with an angel. And that angel will be with them for the rest of their lives to guide them and talk to them. So, you'll be able to see them at some point in time. Not a lot of people can see them. Not a lot of people can hear them even yet. We have sums to work. We need to get out of our own way so that we can get these things done. You'll know as you learn, because as soon as you fix something else will come up. As soon as you handle that, something else will come up, and it'll get easier for you to do that as you learn how to work within your gifts and your traps. Now, one would think that your trap would be, as humans would say, a bad thing. It's not. It's a very, very good thing, because in order for you to till up the soil and replant, chaos must come in, right? And that's where your trap is. And that basically, if you look at it as gardening, the trap is the tilling of the soil. It breaks up the dirt. And the gift is your seed that you plant, that you already have planted in yourself, but you keep planting your own seed within you so that it can grow. You start growing along with this. So the trap really is not a negative thing. There's no growth in your giftedness. The only growth exists in the trap. So it's a very necessary and important thing for us to go through. And as we learn to go through these things, it just becomes easier and easier. And no, it's not always easy. This is one of the most difficult things that you will ever embark on, becoming gathered or even choosing to move forward with the gatherings, because this is, you're confronting yourself. You're confronting all of the things that you need to be balanced within yourself. But you've been given a roadmap that is very simple, very easy to follow. And it's not always that simple, and it's not always that easy to follow. You see what I'm saying? Because we get in our own way. There was one time Michael said something to me. He said, long has been his path and much has blocked his way. And I thought about that. The much is me. I get in my own bloody way. Anytime something is keeping me from something, it's usually me. It's usually me. So that's where it started making me think about the participation that we have within the gifts and traps. Now, here's the good news, okay? The way to get through the gifts and the traps is the Book of Bricks. It's written in 3 parts: blessings, gifts, and deeds. The first one is where you give a blessing, okay? The second one is where you see where you can make the improvements. See you, someone who's, okay, see you, be you, and I by my hand, okay? So see you, someone, and then you bless their heart and you make this brick. Be you, someone who is strong and courage, or whatever it is that they say, and you posture yourself. This is a posturing. The gift is your posture, and then the deed is when you take up what you've discovered by hand and you do something about it, okay? So that's how you get through your gifts and your traps. Now, I don't know how you're going to do it. That's just what I've seen. I don't know if that's really the way it is, but it makes some sense, Also, the revelation, okay? The revelation is the 7 gifts. So if you take the revelation in your left hand, this is my left hand because this is, it's backwards here because see, mellow yellow is even spelled backwards. All right, so enjoy is spelled backwards. All right, so this is your left hand. Put the revelation in this hand. And in this hand, you put the Book of Bricks. The revelation is your life, and the way through it is the Book of Bricks, okay? So there we have it. Michael told us that a long time ago. And that's why it's important to go ahead and start going back into the old visits. And, if it sounds redundant to you, there's so much important stuff in there. Once you see what Michael has for us and what's been given over the years, you'll see that, oh, okay, this helps fit into this, and this helps fit into that, and this is why they did this, and this is why they did that. It helps you to have an understanding of what it is that we're doing. Also gives you an opportunity to take up these tools that we're using and use them upon yourself so that you can share that information with others. Michael said to gather 7 masters and teach them to teach. So when you go to this gathering, you're learning how to teach, and those things that you were learning at the gathering, you're going to be teaching other people those things. Okay. And then you'll learn how to heal yourself with the chakra tunings, the acutuning. There's oil processes that you can do. There's a gate on the back. You can open up a gateway on your back. Yep. You can use the oils, the 7 church oils and some of the IM oils, and open up a gate on someone's back and help them move through whatever emotional, mental, or physical issue that's going on. And yeah, that was a huge gift. That one works particularly well. It also, the gate of grace is one of the biggest tools that they gave us. Anybody can set a gate. On angelicgate.com, you can go to Gate of Grace and it'll show you how to, you can actually print that picture out that I have there, and it'll show you how to build a gate and what stones to use. And if you don't want to go run around to 7 or 8 stores to find those stones, you can buy them off my website or even off Joe's website. They're relatively affordable, and we do have different qualities. So, the Gate of Grace is what the gate is it's perfect just the way it is. There's been times where people want to add or take away a stone or use something else. Michael gave us 12 candidate stones. Those are the stones that are going to open up the Gate of Grace. Okay. And the way to turn off the gate is to remove the stones. And after, I don't know what kind of period of time, we've seen them linger for quite a while. Remove the stones or create a violent act within the gate. Immediately shuts off, like your gate. Okay, when you get gathered, your gate is activated within you, so you're basically walking Gate of Grace. Now, you can use the Gate of Grace to pass that grace to another when you've just gotten gathered. Now, if you choose to do a gathering, you'll activate another strand of your DNA, and that's why we do 4, because there's 4 strands that need to be activated, right? Well, that actually works out to be 5, which is a creative number. First you get gathered, then you do your 4 gatherings. And each one of those gatherings makes your gate spin faster. Now, early on in this, they were talking about turning on your gate. Well, when you get gathered, your gate is turned on. There's no turning it off, okay? Unless when you're in an angered moment, is pretty much the only time that your gate's not necessarily working. Because you can't pass grace in anger, but when you calm down, that grace starts coming back, and you can use that grace for yourselves. Okay. Now, when you choose to do a gathering, you can pass grace on to another person. Okay. I generally use the Gate of Grace all the time when I'm doing healing work, because it's just a cool thing to have, and it really, it just helps out a whole lot. No, you don't necessarily need it when you do 3 or 4 gatherings, but it just makes sense to use it because it's the tool, the first tool I got, and I like to use it. And you could just set a little one under the table, or you can use a big one in the room or whatever. I have a portable that I carry around with me when I do healing work. There's times where I go out and I'll do classes for 2 or 3 days, and then after the class, people will want to have sessions with me, so I reserve time, and that's when I start using those types of tools. So I'm also available to come out, you guys in Arizona, help you with your endeavors. And, when the chat's over, let's keep in touch, and we'll make sure that you get everything you need in order to do, be supported in your endeavors. I find it very important to do gatherings, really important. So once we reach that number, we're not there yet. Now, this year we can cause some things to be that, really help out and help start moving in the direction that we're already moving. Okay. So if you noticed, the last 4 years was just basically a really nightmarish time. And then of course, the last year, this pandemic, all of this could have been avoided by the masters, really. And you don't have to believe that. You don't have to understand that. It's just what Michael said. I have a tendency to believe what Michael has to say because I'm gullible to Michael. So I had a relationship with Michael before I met Joe, and that's how I knew to work with this guy, because I already had a relationship with these cats. So anyhow, they never told me to write anything down or publish a book or anything like that. So I just worked with Joe and worked with his stuff. Also, we have a tool for your new masters. I don't know if Rick showed you, I don't know if he's fully aware of it, but we have the full book online at beatpeace.net. It's Blessings, Gifts, and Deeds. It's the real simplest, easiest version. He updated it, added 3 chapters to it. And it's free. You just download it. You can download the PDF, or you can visit the page and read it as you go. You can print it out. It's like 140 pages. So I'd just read it online or on a big screen. I'd have to read it on a bigger screen because I can't see little stuff anymore. I got these guys. So after 40, things just sort of went dim. All right, so, any more questions?
Hey, Dave, yeah,
Yeah.
I got a question. I just was out there and downloaded that Blessing Gifts and Deeds, and it's 64 pages, so maybe I didn't get the update.
Okay, I was wrong on my number, 64 pages.
What do you think?
Don't know why.
'Cause that's just way different.
Let me go on here and take a look.
I mean, I don't know what I should expect.
I don't know either. Well, okay, so on the PDF, it may be lower. It depends on the size of font that it is too, so.
Oh, okay.
If you look here, and it's downloading. Okay, yeah, 64 pages. My
Yeah, and
mistake.
okay, and that's the
I
latest.
can actually bleep that out when I go to edit this thing, so.
Okay, I
Thank
just
you.
wondered if I did something wrong. That's fine.
No,
that's
I
fine.
was full of crap. I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought there was more than 100 pages. I was absolutely wrong. Took that opportunity. Just read it. It's mine.
Well, hey, Dave, I also have something for you. Is there a place where I can send it?
Yeah, let's go
Okay.
ahead and text me privately through Facebook or.
Okay, I can messenger you.
Yeah, you can messenger me or email me and I'll get you my
Okay.
mailing address.
Okay,
Absolutely. Probably public knowledge anyway. I don't know. But I live way up in the mountains in a little town called Pioneer, California.
oh,
And
well, then I did find your address on Google.
yeah, I'm
Not
easy to
very
find.
cute, but
I'm the only one with that phone number and I've been in Pioneer for about 30 years. I've bounced around to the Bay Area and back a couple of times, but I've always had home base right here. And
Okay. Okay.
it's an interesting place. There's a lot of the Native American sites are very close to where I'm at, like Indian Grinding Rock. We also have Daffodil Hill. Unfortunately, that's closed. But I found a lot of native or indigenous artifact stuff in the forests and stuff around here, and even stuff on my own property. So
Okay.
very cool spot. Lots and lots of vortexes here, I gotta tell you. In 2002, I moved to Montana after the Tree of Life conference in Montana back in 2002. I went and did some house sitting out there and actually stayed for a year, and I learned about the vortexes, and I learned a lot of the indigenous ways and some really cool stuff out there. I was just about 33 or so. So I actually was able to teach. I was teachable at the time. By the time when you're in your 20s, you know everything. When you get in your 30s, you start wondering about what you think you know. Then when you're in your 40s, you're like, you don't know shit. And then after that, it gets better. Then you really know that you don't know anything. So, because you don't. I only know one thing. The sun's going to come up over there and it's going to go down over there. That's the only thing I know for sure every single day. So, and God's love for you. I'm sorry that makes two. All right. But we love Pioneer, California because it's quiet. It's up high, snowy. Nobody wants to come here. I like quiet. I'm of the Church of Pergamum. And so that would be a yellow as in the spectrum. And I like to be out in the country, in the woods, and I have a shop where I isolate and I do my thinking and my inventing. And I make these little stars and I make pendants and little doodads. I make cups and glasses and dishes with laminar crystal. Back in the 90s, I met a guy named Jim Carter, not the president, but he was a metaphysician guy. And he had Twilight America, and they sold these prill beads and these cosmic lightning stones. And one day, Joe asked me to learn how to make those things because he had it in a book somewhere and he lost it. So he asked me to learn it again. So I learned it from Jim. And anyhow, he's not real keen on sharing it with everybody anymore because he only published like 6 or 8 of these books. And everybody wants to charge stupid amounts of money for this stuff. But anyhow, apparently Michael wanted us to use it for some of our things where they were in altar stones that Joe made, different product things that Joe made. And then I make the water stars that structure water in about 7 minutes. And you can also cook with them and stuff. It's on angelicgate.com. take a peek. You never know. You want to be hydrated quick, use a water star. It'll hydrate you quick. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes for regular bottled water to reach your body on a cellular level. And then when you treat the water with the laminar crystal and structure it, it takes about 5 minutes for it to reach your body on a cellular level. And how I know this is we've done a tremendous amount of testing at Stanford, UC Davis, Test America, and 6 independent wine companies did this back in 04, 05. And we've continued our studies. So learning what happened is this stuff puts out biophotons. And what it does is it puts, according to Michael, he says it puts life force into things. Your food and your drink and your medications and things like that. It puts life force into it. So maybe something you want to obtain for yourself. It's very affordable. And it's cheaper by the dozen because I like doing bundles. I'm like the Frank Fritz over here. I like bundling. But I'm the one that bundles my stuff and it goes better, you know. So anyhow, as long as we can get you hydrated and get you the things that will help move you forward, that's what I'm interested in. I also carry all the, you know, I basically sell for Joe. I do all the tuning forks and all the oils and all that stuff, but I do something that Joe doesn't do. I provide support. Okay. I can be reached real easy. You can text me, you can call me. I'm very approachable, very easy to get a hold of. So anyhow, and we're going to start doing these Friday night chats. I'll do as many as I can. I'm going to do next Friday. I don't have anything on my schedule for next Friday. So next Friday at 5 p.m., we will start doing the Facebook Live again. I might change it to something else as far as the name, because we're not using Facebook anymore. Used to be able to use Facebook Live, and it just was a crappy platform, and I switched to Zoom, and I got the big fat package because Joe needs to have it for get-togethers once a month, and he needed a reliable source. All right. Is there any tuning fork classes I can take? I took a 7-day healing school. Rick and Dodd tuning fork part gathering. Okay, Edward. Not yet. As soon as this pandemic gets under wraps and we're able to come together again in that fashion, I'll be offering classes. I believe Joe's going to be out teaching. There's a lot of people that have been doing this for a lot of years. Rick is one of them. You guys are fortunate to have them in your area if you have them, because that's my go-to guy. If I was in that area, I'd be Rick. Anyhow, and he's a teacher. He's of the Church of Philadelphia. So he's always more than willing to help people out. And he likes it when you learn. He really, really, really likes it when you learn. That's their candy, you know. So, and you know, me being of the Church of Pergamum, I'm more like the professor guy, and I love it when people learn. However, I work better with adults. I like working with kids and stuff, but I'm not a scholastic style teacher. I'm more of a college based. It's easier that way for me. So anyhow, I love kids. I had kids. They were fun growing up. Wish I had them at that certain stage where they thought you were God and all that cool stuff, because they just love you. And now it's like, yeah, there's Dad. So anyhow, no, it's better. Let's see, we're coming up on 54 minutes. Wow, I can talk still. Haven't done this in 6 months. I do want to keep going on this. I do want to get together with, I believe your name's Jeff. Let's talk after this thing and see what magic we can make for you. Again, the event is coming up. It's called it's a grand gathering with the Children of Light. Okay. The reason why we changed that name to that, we've used that for the last 3 or 4 years now, because it is what we're doing. It is a grand gathering. It's not the grand gathering. We got 144,000 people. It'll be the grand gathering. But right now we're doing a grand gathering. And, you know, if you haven't been to one of the events yet, you really want to go check this thing out, because if you're willing to put forth the effort to create a world that works for everyone, you really need to get what you're going to receive at these events. This particular year, you're going to find out what your life's purpose is. And that's one of the first things I did with Joe, was I took his life's purpose class, Living Your Soul Purpose. And this process that he's doing at the event this year, he hasn't done it in a lot of years. It's been 20 some odd years since he's done that particular process. And lo and behold, he told me, at the living your soul process thing or purpose thing, this is what I'm doing. So here we are. Here we are. And there's a lot of people that find out that they are either on their path or they need, they're doing something that they don't like. They hate their job. There's a reason why they hate their job, because it's not what they do. And then they move over to what it is they do. And the next thing you know, they're taking off like a rocket. Doesn't matter what kind of compensation you're making. If you are fulfilled with what you do and every day is an adventure and you get up wondering what to do, like I do every morning, wondering what's going to be next. I'd like to see more gatherings so that we get more angel visits. By the way, the more gatherings we have, the more angel visits we have, because then we're becoming readier for more of the information that they give us. With a wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I mean? Okay. So you guys are really, kicking butt out there in the Arizona area, getting quite a few gatherings done in the last few years, more than any other area. Can't wait to see them happening. I'm in support. So the event this year, the second thing that's going to be happening for those who have not been to an event last year, each participant were given an angel to be with them for the rest of their lives. And I believe that's what's going to be happening at each event. If you haven't been to an event or have been to past events and missed that particular one, you're going to get downloaded with an angel, because the visit that that happened in, there were legions and legions, like billions of angels waiting for us to receive them. So some of them will be coming with the masters that are going to be doing the vibrational harmonic changing of the planet into something that works for everyone. And then the other angels are obviously, once we get that mission accomplished, they'll be able to just come right in and be with everybody else. And then we can explore space. Michael said that the things that we'll bring to the universe is just unbeholden by your own imagination. It's much better than that. So, there's no downside to any of this stuff, really. The downside is going through and doing the work on yourself. And if you choose to not receive it in a comfortable way, you kind of get into these modes where, it can really upset you. It can piss you off pretty good, but once you come to come down a little bit, you start realizing these are just processes that I'm putting myself through so that I can strive to be the best that I can possibly be, because you are made in the image and likeness of God. You are perfect, whole, and complete, and you are all you need to be. So with that information, just go out there and just dig in, because it's gonna be okay. No matter what, it's going to be okay. Now, we can have this in a short period of time, or we can have this in a long period of time. Right now, I believe we're choosing the long period of time. It's been 26 years of my life that I've been doing it. No, 23, 24. Could be the 24th year, maybe the 25th. As we learned earlier with Sarah, I'm not that good with numbers. Not my bag, baby. So anyhow, I think it's 24, 25. I was 26, I'm 51, so it's 25 years. All right, so there we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because we're coming up on the hour. Any questions? Jeff, your questions have been fabulous. Love them. Sarah, thank you for chiming in. Edward, thanks for texting me your questions. All right, so we'll catch you guys on the replay. I'm going to post this up on the Grand Gathering on YouTube and on the Gathered Masters pages on Facebook. And next week, we're going to go ahead and do this all over again, different subject, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, as always, my blessings, my gifts, and my deeds are of you. Bless your hearts. And I'll see you next week. Unless you need to talk to me, give me a call.
Thank you, Dave.